Welcome to the Parody, where we tally up the victims in our favorite movies. I'm Uzi Rose, and today we're looking at the Trinity, released in 2019. The film mainly takes place in flashbacks before the events of Synod, which I'll be looking at next month. I just want to keep this intro very brief as compensation for what you'll get in the Time Heroes episode. The film, in all actuality, takes place after the events of Synods, however. With its short-ass runtime of 57 minutes, there are a whole lot of kills to be had. Will the Synod succeed in getting a high kill count? We can only find out by getting to the kills. The movie begins with someone leaving the lens cap on the camera.
All these years of documenting reduced to shaving!
It finally teleports away just to show us a guy walking in the desert. I would say he was walking in the desert, but yeah, it looks like he's being dragged into a void now. I mean, being sucked into the void gives you more of, like, whatever all these guys are. I am, however, not going to count them as dead since that is not exactly confirmed. This opening scene was not originally in the movie at first. It was added in the 2020 re-release of the movie after it was taken down from copyright. The 2020 re-release is the version I'm using for this episode. After the 80-second logo rally, Prince, Drexen, and Corin have been abducted from Area 51 to be used for interrogation. Gil and President Snow walk in and do military stuff. Since I'm doing this before Synods, I'll have to introduce these two to you. President Rebecca Snow has been the in-universe president ever since 2017, when Terrence Jackson's term ended. Instead of promoting Reconstruction, she pulled an Andrew Johnson and manipulated the system to make a false sense of security for everyone. When she discovered the Synods on the moon, she led a full genocide on them, which I'll cover next. As for Gil, he doesn't have a page on the Foxhound wiki. When Drexen asks for Zarn's flesh, Snow tells him that he's been detained and that they have the questions to answer. Skull and Price have been kept in the dark about this interview. Snow tells them that these are precautionary measures they have taken, and the trust bureau has already been crushed. The containment variant is more for untrue safety, and there's also the capabilities of them. After Drexen threatens to start a killing spree, President Snow starts asking all the questions. We cut to a location in the Milky Way galaxy on Irius? I don't know how to pronounce that. Drexen tells them that they're here for a vengeance quest from a lie. Their third brother, Zen, can be seen here when they are summoned by King Feruza and Queen Ingeles. I don't know how to pronounce that one too. His spawn egg motives are revealed when he says that one day he will pass the crown on to one of them so he can read Iris. The decision is made by a duel called Beretta, a battle between the princes to eventually be the king of Irius. For preparation, all three are in their own US Army bases to prepare with whatever weapon comes to their mind. The guard inside Drexen's room tells them about Zen's absence from the Battle of Irora's skiing competition. Veruzer probably realized his powers. This doesn't stop Drexen though, as he enters the arena with dedicated fans in the stands. Corin enters and receives his own standing ovation. King Veruzer goes into a deep speech on his flying device that he stole from another planet. He tells his children to have a fierce battle, but only one of them will win. Jeff Manning comes on the Smash Bros. Cartridge to announce the beginning of this 3-minute battle. It features a lot of sparks from weapons, Matrixian dodging, and animation effects borrowed from anime probably. There's even a bullet dodging in the form of a sword throw. King Veruzer and a ejected character collection from High on Life are very interested in the fight. It soon evolves into a fist fight between the brothers, which Drexen soon dominates by Hulk smashing Corin, where he eventually kicks him to right by the edge. As it seems like Drexen is about to win, Corin almost sends him over the edge. But Drexen has one more move up his sleeve, using the force to knock Corin over the edge with his hammer and be announced as a future king of Irius. As the celebration starts to be planned, the gang walks in to change the party into insanity. Some inanimate insanity. I'm fucking dumb. At first I think it's Zen, but it's soon revealed that it's Zarn, leader of the Synods, the species that President Snow ordered genocide on. Zarn's ordering his army of creepers onto all the bystanders to start our kill count off by brutally killing two Iruris residents. After Drexen asks who this greeny guy is, Veruzer goes in and starts battling him. In the main king battlefield, it starts dominating our current count of kills by showing us 18 more kills or bodies, with only a tiny bit of human or Synod blood. During all of this, Zarn and Feruza have been sent into the skies, and Drexen has fallen into a water of the Synod. Meanwhile, Veruzer and Zarn have gone outside the arena and invaded the set for the Renegade. Veruzer manages to Sonic Adventure Zarn before Zarn buys Sonic forces from the bargain bin. Zarn feeds Veruzer Synod lore, as he tells him about the colonization of America. Veruzer is confused. Before he can get it all together, Zarn white screens the colonization. He finds his brother Drexen and takes off his helmet. Asking how Drexen fell down here, he says he was knocked down by creatures. Creatures that sound like a third of them came from a Coloradan town. He says that Veruzer had seemed to recognize the beings. Knowing this, he decides to run for it. When he invites Corin with him, he says no because of the above battle. Drexen then tries comforting him in a scene that, if voiced, could have come from a really good object show. He says that the people there above are in danger. Corin apologizes for his silliness and decides to come with Drexen to fight. We come back to the Floridian containment facility for aliens where Gil gets a wrong answer and loses his tax immunity. Corin describes things the Time Hero heads and President Snow already know. Drexen fills us in by saying Veruzer found their territory and did terrible things. The terrible things he did caused my mental pain, however. That's because he let me count 16 more Synods, either being killed with stabs or bodies in the background. Zarn doesn't count here. President Snow tries to make this movie make sense, to which Drexen and Corin go back to Flashback land. It's Veruzer after genocide, where a soldier tells him about a site he found. Veruzer tells the soldier to have him and his men stay back while he investigates the place. The place just seems to be a bunch of rocks, until Veruzer finds a green infant. He says it's not an Irurian and almost stabs and kills it, but decides against it. Drexen explains that Zen was actually a Synod left behind during the attack. The scene afterwards explains why Zen wasn't in the competition, where he says his disgust over Veruzer and Angelus for running over the old lands of the Synods, and the fact that Veruzer couldn't imagine him as king. This is most likely why the Synods came in and attacked after the king battle, to avenge their fallen that were killed by Veruzer long ago. Veruzer says that he had hope for Zen and his brothers. He also says that he intended to raise them to his strong Zeph, something that Zen doesn't believe. He then wishes that Veruzer would have killed him when he had the chance. Zen then runs away. After Angelus and Veruzer become distraught, Zen goes into the infantry of the planet to grab a twig? Okay. The soldier guarding the tree asks Zen if he is alright, and as soon as he can, he stabs the soldier by him and grabs the twig, eliminating the remaining 9 soldiers in the explosion. Drexen explains that Zen was the descendant of the staff, which had called to him. The staff had contained Zarn in it, to which he makes Zen their king. He tells them to do what's right, to take back their land and home on Urius. When Zen questions how he's still there, Zarn says that he casted their souls into Ziambeth. War has officially begun. We take a visit back to the containment facility, where we slow down as Drexen's PTSD kicks in. With that, 7 bodies doused in red can be counted.
When Snow asks what those 2 seconds of blood were for,
Drexen tells him about that day. Oh god, it was so horrible. It was War Day. I don't know how old he was. Him and Corin were just chilling, waiting for Veruzer to do something. Alright, I'll stop. Drexen's dad did not break his neck in a chimney that day, and still has confusion. Drexen tells him about the battle that was waged that day and what Zen had become. In the front lines, 10 kills can be counted, from various forms of swordplay and in both species. After, 2 more bodies. This is Zarn and his big guy, in which Veruzer, Angelus, and 3 background dead Synods are seen.
Zarn and the big guy are in some invasion shit and almost repeat what happened on September 8th, 2022. But she still isn't dead, so I'm not gonna add her on the count. It turns out that this big guy Synod Lord is actually their 3rd adopted brother, Zen. He exposes himself for being weak and says the title. He then goes into depth about how much he can beat up that punk-ass bitch, Veruzer. Veruzer does cave in on some of the allegations and acknowledges that they happened. Corin tries acknowledging them as a mistake, but Veruzer says that there's only repercussions to them. However, they side with Veruzer, saying that he's only failed Zen. They all charge up and try getting him to hand over the staff to them.
Do I fall into the bullshit or not?
I guess not. It begins a battle between Zen and everyone else on Veruzer's side. He starts by beating the absolute shit out of Drexen, then just throwing him to the side. They try negotiating with him, but obviously it doesn't work. Corin gets the shit beaten out of him too! A shot afterwards with Synods running gives us 3 additional Irurian soldiers to count. Veruzer and Angelus are in their own trouble when Angelus says, you know what, let's go and add 13 Synods to the count, because I think they died. Hey Veruzer, what's up? I just did a big blast against your wife. You want to battle? And that's what they get into. Before Veruzer's fate can be confirmed, we get to the Drexen Corin versus Zen battle. And there's still 3 soldiers in here. Zen gets Corin jump scared, which he was apparently expecting. However, they do not get choked to death, and this is not their fate. Not their fate at all. But if there's one person in the scene who has a confirmed fate, it's definitely Zen. As they both concentrate all of their might and power onto him, he eventually succumbs in an explosion. And it's even confirmed by Zarn. What else do you want me to say? Turns out that was the last they ever saw of Zarn before he went to the moon, because he slaughtered a pilot crew and took a fighter into the vast reaches of space. But it also turns out that Korin was seriously injured in the process. I feel as if I should mention the 7 background bodies of Irurian soldiers. As we all know, Korin is alive and well, but King Veruzer on the other hand, well, King Veruzer suffered a very severe injury. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not going to count King Veruzer as dead, even though that injury is gonna take some very severe medical work. Queen Angelas comes out about Zen being a Synod this entire time and acknowledging that it was a lie. And oh yeah, that Zarn guy, he escaped. Lol. At the very least, Zarn is out of the planet for good. Queen Angelas tells them to leave and go after Zarn, saying that she'll tend to the kingdom in their absence. It's impossible to know how many bodies in the scene we've counted, but I'm only gonna count ones just so I don't get yelled at. Besides, I've already been yelled at way more than enough times. Because of this, they started to go for the cosmos, searching for Zarn to kill him. And that's how they eventually found Earth's moon. They have one more question. What do they have planned to do from here on out now that Zarn is in their custody? Drexen says, return home. A huge wave of shock ensues. But wait, what's this? Gil comes to the realization that the planet could use some more creatures like them, just generally peaceful. That's because they've started to figure out that the universe is filled with a whole ton of beings, and you know what? Not all of them are inherently bad. When asked if he'll stay, Drexen still says no, because he still holds a responsibility to his own people. And that prompts President Synod to say a message I probably never thought she'd say. The movie ends with one more look at the Pelissers, still alive. Oh, and unless we forget, a title card! Well, that's the last order I decided to jump before I covered Time Heroes. Let's see how many people die in the Trinity, brother related or not, and get to the numbers. I counted 96 kills in the Trinity, or I could say 32 Trinities. I'm not even gonna try to discern the genders right now, so I have this pie chart that I trademarked due after the fact. We've seen this count one time before on the parody, in both the original and recount for Killer Being Forever. That's always neat to see. With a runtime of 57 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 35.63 seconds. I'll give Amethyst Frankfurt to the first 2 residents I counted, because that's the most brutal kills in the movie. Broken Pistol can go to any background body I see, this shit's getting tiring. And that's it! The Trinity was released in 2019 and is the middle part of the Moon Wars reboot era. Next up, we'll finally be looking at Time Heroes, and I'm gonna have to give out a whole lot of weeks to get done, so you better look forward to that. In the meantime, I'm Uzi Rose, and this has been the parody.
Thanks a lot for watching this parody. Alright, the new Deadville one could have easily been the last parody entirely. Those kills are kind of to blame, but... well... I think you already know where I'm going with this. I don't want a hostile kill count warning on this one, because that would suck. But yeah. I almost did that. But back to like joyous stuff, because I don't want to get this to be like too depressing of an outro. So yeah, Time Heroes, September 29th, get ready. And you know, I actually haven't done like anything past like when Danny first gets transported on that one right now. So whoops. And in October, I'm going to actually release everything I promised there. So I can assure you that one is actually going to be the first month where I get everything on the schedule I had done. Thanks for watching.